What would happen if the strongest of all level 5 espers fought all the others at once? Accelerator is one of the main characters of a certain magical index, a series in which 7 psychic ability users, known as espers, stand above 2 million other lower ranked students. While Accelerator is regarded as the strongest and even claims he shouldn't even be lumped in with his other level 5 counterparts, would they be able to defeat him with the power of friendship? Or is it too much of a one-way road massacre? Firstly, if we take current Accelerator from the light novels, I think it would be overkill. Like, come on! His new OP power-up with the Tree of Klonoff and Platinum Wings just completely outclass his competition. Like, with the invisible Vector Spears, which can nullify regen, like they did to Neptis, how the hell are any of the level 5s meant to deal with that? And that's not even putting his Vector Shield into the equation, where he can passively reflect any attack that has both direction and magnitude. So to make things a bit more fair for the other level 5s, we will restrict Accelerator to black or white wings only at the very max, which are considered his next strongest forms from base, while his opponents will be allowed to be at their strongest. However, there is another elephant in the room that I must address, which is Shokuho. And no, I'm not calling her an elephant because she gets made fun of for having excess body fat. While she is usually regarded as the weaker of the level 5s, her power known as Mental Out is a huge problem, as it allows her to control the minds of her victims by pointing a TV remote at them. Due to Accelerator being ranked number 1 and having the reputation of being unbeatable by all the espers in the city, some of which are stupid enough to try and fight him, you'd think there is no way that a mind control power from a weaker esper will be able to affect him. Then what the fuck is this? Mental Out can affect Accelerator apparently from this statement in the novel? Then that's dumb as fuck. Maybe Shoko now deserves the title of number 1. Hold on a sec. I think because of the ridiculous connotations that this statement implies, that there has to be a catch to it. As Mental Out has been shown to work on espers like Toma and Sogita, it may not actually be a surprise, as Toma can actually negate its effects by touching his head with Imagine Breaker, or with Sogita, he can simply use his willpower to break out of it. I think there is perhaps a similar case with Accelerator. Maybe it initially works on him, but due to the power revolving around the flow of moisture and bioelectricity in the brain, Accelerator can simply use his power to go against it and snap out of it. Or maybe it just works automatically since Accelerator's reflection is passive. I mean, it's not a foolproof way to justify it, but that makes the most sense to me at least. Otherwise, it's just gonna be super dumb if Shokuho is just gonna mind control Accelerator off the bat and GG no cap, we win. Like, not only is that not fair, but it makes no sense either. Otherwise, the only chance Accelerator would have to win is if he blitzed Shokuho immediately before she is even able to react and point her remote. But considering she's teaming up with the other level 5s who have much better speed and reactions than her, that likely won't be possible. The biggest dilemma the other level 5s face is getting past that pesky shield, as if they can't do that, then Accelerator is pretty much invulnerable. However, in his base form, it seems to have a time limit of approximately 30 minutes, so I guess timing him out is a potential option for victory, unless he whips out the wings, but we'll talk about that later. Let's look at each level 5 and see if they can actually harm Accelerator. Sogita's power is mysterious, but he's not really shown anything that doesn't appear to have vectors, minus his guts obsession I guess. Even though his powers don't seem to have any logic to them, they still physically should have vectors. Interestingly, Sogita can copy other Esper powers if he understands the theory behind them, but considering the psychic abilities that are capable of bypassing Accelerator's shield tend to be very complicated, I don't see Sogita winning from this route. Him being reliant on strong physical attacks like Amazing Punch will only work against him and the other level 5s, as the huge explosions will simply be sent back towards our team, which could make him detrimental to his level level 5 colleagues if he keeps charging to attack Accelerator without a strategy. Next, the mysterious number 6 Aihana Etsu. They were pretty much confirmed to have no offensive power of their own, so they are definitely not scratching Accelerator. Shokuho I've already touched upon, but yeah, other than mental out, she's pretty useless and doesn't have anything else, and is physically trash. Then we have Mugano, and listen, I'm not saying Mugano is weak, far from it. Just that her Meltdowner ability is pretty linear, as it just fires green beams of doom that atomize their victims. I mean, that sounds impressive on paper. The problem is, though, Accelerator can definitely reflect these easily. I'd go far as to say Mugano might be the least useful level 5 in this fight, since if she is crazy enough to fire her beams at Accelerator, he's just going to use their attributes to ignore durability against the level 5s, which could be a huge problem. Up next is Misaka. You'd think, considering she got absolutely humiliated by Accelerator in Railgun S, that she'd be even more of a fodder than Aihana and Mugano combined in this fight. Surprisingly, she might actually have a few tricks up her sleeve, which might help defeating the ultimate boss more possible. Firstly, since we are using post-headshot Accelerator, who has access to the Misaka network via his choker, which then allows him to access his special wings, this might give Misaka a chance. There is a theory that due to her incredible hacking skill and ability to interfere with electronics, she would be able to intercept Accelerator's electrode, which he is completely reliant on to not only use his powers, but also to do basic actions like walking and talking. And if it's not active, regardless if the battery is on or not, he probably wouldn't be able to use the wings too. Otherwise, she can actually break down oxygen into ozone, and Accelerator himself confirmed he needs oxygen to breathe, just like any other human. This isn't a concrete counter either though, as he would likely be able to hold his breath and move quickly to a position where the air is normal. Lastly, she does have her AAA or anti-art attachment, which does borrow a portion of Alistair's magic. However, it's unclear if this would allow the projectiles of the AAA to ignore Accelerator's shield. Certainly, if it was Alistair's spiritual tripping spell, Accelerator will be screwed, but we don't know if Misaka has enough of that magic for it to bypass that pesky Una reverse card. Now we are on to Big Cack, whose dark matter was initially capable of penetrating the reflection, but Accelerator's Gigabrain adapted to this strange substance which follows an unknown set of physical laws. So now he can manipulate dark matter if he comes into contact with it. Therefore, Kakina's only chance of beating Accelerator's shield is via stalling, as in his dark matter form, Kakina doesn't have human weaknesses of getting tired, hungry, or aging, and he can create an unlimited amount of dark matter clones and can regenerate fully as long as a single atom of the white substance remains. Sus. Therefore, Big Cack is arguably the key level 5 on the team. Hardly surprising since he's ranked just 1 below Accelerator. Now let's talk about Accelerator's other strengths, since he isn't just a one-trick pony, but I recommend watching this video if you want a full rundown on how strong Accelerator truly is. Not only can he control the wind, create earthquakes, and increase his physical speed and strength, what makes Accelerator so deadly is that he can kill biological humans with just one touch, via reversing their blood flow or bioelectricity, meaning most of the level 5s really can't afford to get touched, or they are doomed, with the only two who could possibly survive this being Sogita and Kakina. While I'm not sure if Sogita's regeneration will be enough to revive him after a blood flow reversal, maybe it will, considering he took a gunshot to the heart like it was nothing. Meanwhile, Kakina is entirely made of inorganic dark matter, meaning it will likely not affect him. But Accelerator is very good at killing Kakina clones quickly regardless. What makes it more difficult for Accelerator is that for most of his fight versus Dark Matter Kakina is that he had help from Mugano to fend off the clones. So with him alone, it will certainly make it a lot harder for him to reduce the amount that Kakina can mass produce. Another noteworthy thing about their rematch fight is that Accelerator didn't use his wings, perhaps saving them as a last resort. It is not as though Kikina can easily combat the wings, as that's what caused his defeat in their first fight. And when the Beetle 05 version of Kak fought a cyborg known as Rensa, who had access to Accelerator's wings, he was defeated by them yet again. This time, he also had help from Toma, so wings definitely give Accelerator an advantage in the matchup. Furthermore, they don't even have a time limit, unlike the Choker, and perform all the vector calculations for him. While the Black Wings seem to be reliant on Accelerator's negative emotions and disappear once he's calmed down, in New Testament Volume 10, Accelerator is shown to be able to use his White Wings seemingly whenever he wants. What makes the wings so strong is that they can dissolve matter that comes into contact with them. Accelerator can launch hundreds of them at once, and he can also control vectors at a distance like he did versus Kikina without needing to physically touch him. And in his angel form, Accelerator was also able to nullify a huge amount of magic energy that was going to nuke the entirety of Eurasia. Yep, in terms of sheer power, Accelerator is leagues above the feats of his peers. But can their teamwork and versatility make up for their lack of destructive power? On the level 5 team, I have somewhat neglected one of the members who could actually have an instrumental role in defeating the number 1 Esper, and that is the enigmatic Aihana Etsu. The number 6's unnamed Esper power can only work on others, but that might not be a problem. Aihana can turn someone into an ideal version of themselves, which sounds perfect on paper, considering Sogita could have the power that could rival even a magic god if he understood his ability. Could Aihana turn the number 7 into a god of guts? Or even turning any of the other level 5s into super buff versions that could be stronger than even Accelerator. The main issue is that we have not seen Aihana's power used. Everything we know about it is from statements. It's far too vague to know how it can actually improve others. So while it may seem like this would be a perfect support ability for our level 5 team, we don't currently have enough information to know if it will be useful. Now, what are the win conditions for both sides? With Accelerator, he would need to defeat the level 5s quickly, as if he is forced to play the long game, the odds are against him due to the time limit on his choker. This would likely mean trying to kill the other level 5s first before concentrating all his attention on stopping Kikina. Sounds pretty simple. Accelerator should be faster than most of the level 5s, considering he blitzed Salome, who could casually react to all of Misaka's attacks. But notably, Kikina and Sogita will be able to compete with his supersonic speed. But even if he got to that point, how the hell is Accelerator gonna stop Kikina from endlessly regenerating and spamming fresh clones? Well, during Beetle 05's fight against Rensa, he actually struggled to remake his body after being hit with the same black wings which Accelerator uses, meaning Accelerator will have to try and use his black wings to fully envelop one last remaining dark matter clone to win, as every single atom of it will need destroying. That in particular sounds like a very tough task, but considering Accelerator's supercomputer-esque brain, he might have a chance. As for our team of level 5s, things are more complicated. Fluid teamwork is crucial for them coming out on top against an opponent as strong as Accelerator. They must win either by finding a way to bypass Accelerator's reflection, or time him out while not being in winged form to ensure he is vulnerable. Shokuho should be a distraction if Mental Out can temporarily work against Accelerator. She might even make him turn off his electrode, which would be an easy win. She may also be able to link the minds of the team together, sharing their thoughts with one another to make their teamwork way better. But if things don't go that smoothly, then Sogita and Misaka will at least be able to distract Accelerator enough that Kikina will be able to produce an army of clones severely outnumbering the sole level 5. If they play their cards right, then I can see Accelerator simply tiring out or running out of battery juice. And even if he does go White Wing form, then I don't see him being able to use it forever. Kakino was so powerful in his Dark Matter form that both Accelerator and Mugano together were unable to defeat him, and he had the upper hand for most of the fight. Kakino's own power ended up defeating him, with Takitsubo's power also allegedly having an influence on it. So while it is possible Kakino's own Dark Matter network could overthrow him like in the novels, I don't think it would happen simply because Takitsubo isn't involved in this fight. I think it would be much harder for Accelerator to erase every single atom of dark matter with his wings, while also being distracted by the other level 5s, even if Accelerator is strong enough to destroy the planet itself. Sure, he might be able to kill most of the level 5 team, but by that point, Kakino would have expanded his dark matter network to an extent that would be far too large for the number 1 to fully eradicate. Therefore, I will have to give this victory, surprisingly, to the level 5s. Looks like Kakino achieved his dream of becoming the number 1 after all. But yeah, as I said at the start of this video, with Platinum Wings, I don't see the level 5 team standing a chance. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you check out my other ones about the level 5 Espers on screen right now, and if you'd like to see a video about how Espers can even get to the rank of level 5, subscribe to the channel and I will make that video for you guys. Thanks for watching, see you all next time.